stewardship of land is something that many farmers try to attain, especially here in Missouri. Under careful stewardship by farmers, they have spurred a nearly 50% decline in erosion of cropland by wind and water since 1982. They do this using conservation tillage, a way of farming that reduces erosion on cropland while using less energy, and has grown from 17% acreage in 1982 to 63% today. At the same time, total land used for crops has declined by 15%. That is 70 million acres. Part of the decline in this acreage could be accumulated due to the fact of the rise of greenhouses. Greenhouses allow farmers and managers to suit the needs of a market almost instantly. While providing jobs for the youth, they also break the needs of rotation, therefore allowing crops at any point to be produced at any time for the public. When crop rotation isn't used, it allows for more of a variety while taking up less land and at the same time not being as hard on the soil. When soil isn't being used for crops, it can also be used for a multitude of other industries. These industries can range all across agriculture, from swine to poultry to beef cattle and to dairy cattle. Dairy farmers all across the United States, as part of their industry, try and maintain the best standards for their cattle and the best quality for the milk that is provided to the public. We came to Alfred Brandt's dairy farm to seek his insight on what he believes is caring for animals in a safe and wholesome way.
Most of what I do related back to the fact that I'm trying to create a stress-free environment for my cows. You know, everything that we do, we try to relieve stress from. The housing that they're in, they have sand beds that they lay on every day. The fans and the sprinklers are up that we use all summer long to prevent heat stress. The nutrition that we provide, you know, they never run out of feed. Cows that are under stress are not very productive, and for me to be profitable at farming, I've got to take very good care of my cows, and there's not anybody left in this business that doesn't love their animal.
To keep these high standards up across all of the states, regulations and checks are placed by lawmakers. We met with Representative Tom Hurst on how they, as legislators, see farmers working on being good stewards of the land that they own.
Well, as far as good steward of land kind of goes back to history. In other words, a lot of people say that you don't buy the ground, you're mainly renting it. And by that means with traditional families, and that is the backbone of agriculture. And for me as well, I live on a century farm, and that means it's been in my family for over 100 years. It actually began in 1870, so it's quite a few years over 100. What we look at is we try to produce a product that the consumer will buy. We want that to be a quality product. We have to be able to do it efficiently so that we can stay in business, otherwise you're not going to get to that 100 years. But to be good stewards of the land, some people will tend to think that you're trying to milk the ground for everything it's possibly worth to increase your bottom line. And so it's easy to misunderstand people whenever they try to increase production. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're hurting the ground. There's inputs that you can put in, fertilizers, there's ways to treat the soil, treat the plants to get them to grow to a certain size to produce more, and that's the end result. But to actually hurt the ground in that process, you will not be able to continue that forever.